So have we actually ever lost a job by being too honest?
I sort of tend to switch off and start talking.
When I start talking, tumbleweed. Hello and welcome to today. This is a new podcast. Say new podcast, it's still us, but Inside Filthy is what we're calling it. So we have the Filthy Clean pod where we have a guest come in each month, and we wanted to start doing some more recording internally. So we're doing a little sort of offshoot from that called Inside Filthy. So welcome to Inside Filthy.
Hello.
Hello.
Caught me off guard. Yeah, so let's start with well, you know, we were speaking briefly there about we've been in this unit now for 6 months, I believe it is, since, well, it's actually 7 months, I think. It's beginning of November, end of November, and so yeah, let's give it a bit of a roundup quick of that, I think, and see how we've come and where we've come from in that time. So firstly, do you think it was a good move coming from the small place that we were in to this rather large
Definitely.
place? Yeah.
We took a drive, didn't we, last week? Dropped some vans off to get them logoed, which was dead opposite our old unit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we went in there, and don't miss it at all.
No, I can't believe that we actually were in there. Like it looks tiny now.
Yeah.
Compared to like when we first moved in there, obviously it was big to us, and then now it just looks like a tiny little sort of box compared to this. But we've definitely grown into this one, haven't we?
You couldn't imagine it, could you?
No.
Downsizing as such.
Yeah, I
Couldn't
think
believe the space as well. I mean, we walked in, he sells all second-hand stuff and that, didn't he? And it's literally clogged, isn't it? With loads of stuff. And just to stand there, it was just like, oh.
I was eyeing up the Christmas tree, to be fair.
what, this time of year?
It's cheap, isn't it? Get in before the rush.
Christmas tree.
I was like, hello.
12 foot, where are you going to put that?
And I said, where are you going to put that?
At the front.
National Lampoons. Yeah. But no, definitely a great move. You know, obviously we've sort of said before, this is a lot bigger, isn't it? You know, in the morning time with yourself, all the vans come in, just easy access. You know, it's just great, isn't it? It's just a big,
it is.
change.
The lads are finding it a lot easier as well, because it was a constant battle to fill up the vans in the morning. You could only have 2 vans parked up at once, and then obviously the others, whoever else was there, had to wait for them to fuel and then swap over. And here you can have sort of 6-7 vans all lined up, and it's just a case of taking a nozzle out and putting it into the next one. So it's faster for the lads. They can all get off quicker, so it's more efficient for that side of things as well.
Also, I mean, some of the vans as well, which is good. We can keep them here overnight, can't we? When we've had them in the garage and stuff like that, 5-6 vans have stayed here easily overnight. In the last place, we had a worry that if we left one van outside, as an example,
it's going to get robbed.
Yeah, basically. You know, so they're getting another advantage of being here. We've just got all the storage for the vans as well as obviously all the equipment and stuff like that. So
all locked up as well, the main gates, isn't it? So it's definitely a more secure place.
100%.
We didn't have any trouble with that though, at the last place, did we? That was one thing, because I'm sure they had a security guard going by every half hour, but
he was the one nicking everything.
I know others did though. Others had vans going missing.
Towards the end of this particular company had the same van nicked something like 2 or 3 times within 9 months, something like that. And we could have just been lucky that they didn't get our vans.
With cameras anyway, weren't we? There was cameras on to where the van's parked and that. But we didn't have no trouble down it like that. But just as far as swapping from there to here is concerned, it's a great step.
I just think for me, like obviously because I was working at home in the log cabin, you were obviously down at the unit. It was just disjointed, and for me, since being here in the last 6 months, I just think we've been able to really get into some of the nitty gritty of overheads and everything else to really see where we were wasting some money, you know, and we've been able to really fine tune some of them areas and save some good money in certain areas. I like the communication as well, is because obviously we're now all together. I mean, my role, I think, is I'm trying to sort of concentrate a lot on marketing, but I'm definitely getting pulled a lot more into the business side of it, which is, you know, it's understandable because we are where we are. Exactly. But at the same time, it's I just think the communication and everything else that we're able to do now, we can just do stuff quickly is probably what I'm trying to say.
It's just better connected across departments as such, and everything's under one roof. And
We do need a lick of paint in here, though. Every time I go in your room, I feel like I'm in Beirut. You know?
I don't know if you noticed, but the two things. My whiteboard fell off this morning. I come in and that was on the floor, so that needs to be rehung. And it's absolutely roasting down that end. So I think the aircon needs to be distributed a little bit better. But that's all. It all comes with time. It all comes with time.
When we moved into this place, do you not think I clocked that straight away? There was aircon in this room.
Is my office.
Well, no, it weren't. It was
Biggest
the podcast
office,
room.
Yeah,
It was the podcast room, but I thought I'd just stick my desk in the corner.
He saw a vision right under the aircon unit. That's
Not sweating.
convenient, yeah. So.
Comes downstairs for 3 minutes, goes, bit hot down here, and I better go upstairs.
It's horrible. It's like a different world, you know. But no.
They're saying that. I mean, when we moved in, the heating didn't work either, so it was absolutely Baltic down that end as well. So
since we've moved in here, though, I mean, that's the thing, because we've never taken on something this size, and really through the agents that we obviously not the agents we rent it from, the landlords we rent it from. It's much more serious, isn't it? You know, like the last place was individually owned. We've had other, leased other places where we've gone through an agent, but it's just never been as what's the word? I don't know. Strict, fine tooth comb, whatever it is here.
Military.
Yeah. But so when we moved in, we're responsible for the whole building. We had a survey carried out, so we protected ourselves there. But pretty much as soon as we moved in, everything went, didn't it?
Yeah, roll the shutter.
The boiler man was never so busy in his life. Yeah, roll the shutter, stop.
Spark here every week.
Everything was just held together with enough glue to last until we signed the lease papers.
Wires hang from the ceiling.
But no, we knew that. I mean, that was the thing for me. It was a place to grow into. You know, it definitely needs some TLC. It's like walking into the office in Slough. Like I'm expecting to see Ricky Gervais, it's that sort of thing. Yeah. But we'll get it there, But it's for me, it's just been fantastic. I love the space. I love the area out the front. Obviously, no drama with parking. We had that all the time in the last one. It's just clean and tidy. It's quiet as well. We haven't got mechanics or anything like that on the estate, have we? It's just like distribution sort of places, So lots of lorries and that, but very big. And just for me, it's been really good. But from a business perspective, it's that's just being able to really get into it a lot more and try and organise it a lot more in just a lot of certain areas, and then just bringing it all together, we can I think we've just been able to achieve a lot more. So. Talking about that, I mean, we've had some fantastic months the last is it about 3 months now where we've just had back-to-back big cleans. Last month we had a record-breaking month in revenue, and that was fantastic. And it just really showed us and highlighted to us the sort of level of work we can do with the team that we've got at the moment, isn't it? Because we smashed our sort of monthly budgets by some. It was probably a good sort of 25-30% bigger than our normal month, and we just handled that with not much more overhead, did we? It's just trying to get more of that work really, and more consistently, and that's obviously where the directions that we want to move more into, isn't it?
And I think that comes back to as well where we're quite aligned here, because then we can see what's happening on the marketing side and then the sales side and then operations. It's just all It's better to go through these sorts of things, and the bigger projects, they run, I think, pretty smoothly in that sense. And better to manage over it.
And we're improving our equipment side and stuff like that as well, aren't we? We've done a particular job this year that we done last year that was more problematic last year, wasn't it? But where we've got better equipment and stuff like that, we are just improving everything.
Yeah, a new reliable machine has sped that
and the funny thing is that wasn't a lot of money at all, was it?
No, the stupid thing about it, the amount of downtime we had with the truck. We could have saved all of that downtime, about 1,500 quid a day or whatever it was, by just spending that 1,500 quid one day on that machine. But
that's just where we become more efficient in areas, though, isn't it? As we're doing more of these sort of bigger works, and it's just we're getting quicker. The process is getting quicker. The lads are getting quicker. It's
now getting more experience in what they're doing. It is just fine tuning everything that we do.
And that's what
we're doing. So
it's not just down to sort of Paul now. I mean, this time round, Brady's more than capable of going down, and there was a couple of days I think when Paul wasn't in.
There was,
where Brady went down and continued the bleaching or the hypo work on his own or with a colleague. More of the lads are getting up to speed in different different areas that they wouldn't usually be doing. So yeah, it's good. I
still think that's an area we need to work on, though, is to make. I really want to try and get a training program in place, you know. And I know, like, since we've been here in the 6 months, we're just sort of. It's not like we've got loads of time, you know. Every day we've got different challenges and everything else. But as things do settle down and we find our rhythm much more, that's what I'd love to do, is just to get an internal training program on the go. So then, you know, we've got loads of decent lads, haven't we? You know?
Definitely.
You know,
yeah,
they're all in the wings of doing it, aren't they?
Yeah,
and spoke about it to them. They're all waiting to do it, aren't they?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. A few of them ask, like, especially one of the new lads. He keeps asking me, like, is there an opportunity to do other things? So I said, yeah, I've ordered him because he hasn't used the hand tools. I've ordered him a hand tool set that should be here in the next couple of days. So I'll train him on how to clean the windows by hand, and then next thing, pressure washing, roof cleaning.
I think it's just having a systematic approach to it as well.
Yeah.
So.
If we've got something in place, obviously, when I suppose when we get the handbook sorted out and whatnot, we can maybe put something in place then. And it's just it's hard when we're up against it to sort of pull a lad off of a day's work to then
that's
train
it,
him.
We've got a daily budget or daily target we're trying to hit. And I understand because it's easier just to go put him there because they know what they're doing, you know. But yeah, we do have to bring others along and make sure that we've just got a full force and you know, for the lads as well, you know, if you've got others that want to do other things, then you want to be able to accommodate that, you know. So
I mean, when it comes to the roofs, haven't we? Again, something else we've improved. We're always heavily reliant on the same sort of 2/3 people. Now, 6 to 8 of them are more than capable of working on the roof, aren't they? You know,
we're building different teams as well. A lot of people are working with different people as well, so it's not always the same.
Again, we're limited, weren't we, to one roof a day, weren't we? You know, now
so
we've done it, haven't we? We've had 2 teams. We could go on to 3, 4 teams. Definitely got a team to do that.
You just let go.
No, my cushion thing was all
spreading around.
I was getting a cuddle in the wrong place.
I was getting a cuddle in the wrong place.
Yeah, it was all
sorry.
My mate was all matted up, squeezing me around here.
Hands on the table.
Felt all right for a little while.
I thought you just got up in the middle of it, bent over and let one go.
No.
Have some of that.
Here's the filthy podcast, isn't it? If I need to pass one, I'll pass one.
Nice one.
Back to the sensible bit.
But no, yeah. So yeah. All in all, positive stuff. I mean, what wasn't so positive is we obviously got a good rent-free period here, and we paid our first full quarter last week, which was not hard, but just, you know what I mean, allowing that amount of money to go out your account is it's not nice going to that sort of level of money. But no, overall though, it's
a lot bigger place in it, so naturally it's obviously the money it is, isn't it? You know,
but we're turning over a lot more, and it's all relative, isn't it? So it's so positive stuff really. Nothing else to add to that, but I do want to start to obviously at some point try and put a budget in place to start improving it. But yeah, like we say, Rome weren't built in a day, and it's functionable at a minute. So
so we dedicate all of our spare time to making your properties look good. We don't get the chance to sort the inside of ours out.
Well, we have to, because it's part of the heads of terms. But anyway, I won't go into all of that. It's going to cost me a fortune if I don't. But anyway, so it's positive stuff. So yeah, like we say, we've had a good few months. We're now working a way to try and get some better work in place. But I think you've put a few tenders out and stuff.
Yeah, the last few weeks really, there's been some tenders going through. There's some coming up, so it's just working through those. And I think with them being more picky with what would actually benefit us, and you know, not every tender is worth going for. I think is what we've learned as well. But yeah, we've obviously realised the work we can do and the machine we've got. It's just trying to get more of that. Obviously, the last couple of weeks as well, there's been more site visits with bigger cladding works. We've been to a few. We went earlier to commercial gutters, and it's just building
momentum.
More of these, and there's been plenty of site visits. More of that.
Yeah, so I mean, because like what you just said there about being picking and choosing a bit more, where we had that nightmare a year ago getting involved with that construction company, you actually turned down one that had similar vibes.
Yeah, that was earlier this month. There was a few sort of running alongside each other. And that one, it just had all the same
just gave you the
red flags, And we all sort of felt it really. So
24-page document.
Even the printer said nah.
Even the printer
printer give up halfway through.
You don't want to do this.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a hint. But yeah, no, it's not everything is valuable to us in that sense.
Yeah, well, that is it. It's trying to. I mean, we sort of, like we say, the contracts, especially that we've had this year, some of them. I mean, if we could get more of them, then obviously that's what we're after, aren't we? You know, because we do find sometimes, like window cleaning. We've been window cleaners for many years, but as we found over at least the last 5, maybe 10 years, it's so competitive now that some of them quotes that are out there are just ridiculous.
Oh,
you know?
You've still got people doing houses for a tenner, haven't you? And,
I didn't mean on the domestic front. I meant more on a commercial. But even with that, you know, as soon as they say free quotes, it's. I mean, you're finding that that's normally very difficult, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I mean, 9 times out of 10, there's free quotes. It will only tend to be if you maybe know a person or there's some sort of connection there that they can get around it or choose not to.
Well, that's the thing, though. We have had people that just want us to go in there, isn't it? You know, and that's what we need. But it is difficult, especially when they just get free quotes, because, you know, there's I mean, we took on a lad that we lost some work to, and apparently he underpriced it for him or something. Do you remember the story? So the one of the latest ones that we had in, he was going to clean a contract for his ex-employer. His ex-employer was the one who took the contract from us. But when he said how long he had to get that contract done, it wasn't possible. So basically screwed it up, you know. And obviously we just walked away from it in terms of price, you know. But you're not hear that story? No? Okay, I'll explain it more off air then. I don't want to name any names. Do you know what I mean?
It's because I'm in an office like back of the warehouse.
I'm sure he was standing there with me when he was explaining it.
I probably was. I tend to switch off when you start talking.
When I start talking, are we going to get personal on it? Right, hold on. Fucking roll my sleeves up.
I don't remember what an employee that we had.
Yeah, I'll explain it later. But no, yeah, so I'm just saying that obviously, so that's what you're kind of up against sometimes, that you think, well, how can these people do that for that price?
Yeah.
Well, the realistic answer is they can't.
Or they cut corners.
Or they can't, you know. He expected him to do a contract in a certain amount of time, and he said, hey, you know, no chance.
That's the only thing. I mean, with some of these tenders, obviously, the bigger work we're cut out for. Whereas people can go in cheap, but then it's actually managing the contracts and delivering to the right level.
Well, that's it. I mean, we can go and throw 15 blokes, 16 blokes, whatever, at a job and get it done in a couple of days, where it's going to take a one-man band a couple of weeks to get that done. So, yeah, we need that big stuff where it takes up a lot of the lads, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, again, it is all relative. Like, we're not a national contractor by any means, but we're still as a sort of regional family business. You know, I don't know many around, especially in the sort of, I don't know, in the say a 30-mile radius, where they are probably as big as we are in terms of the amount of men and that we've got. Like I say, I know you've got national cleaners, and then it obviously all gets farmed down. But it's you're right. We can just get a lot of work done quickly, and that's not unfortunately, but that's, you know, like for yourself, like you say, you're always like onto one contract, onto another, onto another.
Yeah.
I've got this big job, it's done one day.
Yeah, what job? You know what I mean?
We got tomorrow.
But yeah, it's like that, because then anything that comes along, we can just absorb it and get to it quick, which is, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing. We can turn things around quick, but we've never been in a position where we can just book work on the back of each other, because we're capable of getting it done sooner. So why would we do that?
But I suppose it's because we're hungry and we're building and developing.
Yeah.
So as we've always said, as soon as we get a sniff that we're like totally full and we can do this, you know, we're putting another van and another bloke on the road, because we want to grow, you know.
And that's what I think we've got all between us as well, isn't it? Is the reaction of, you know, if a job needs doing tomorrow, between all of us, from the equipment side to the manning side, etc., we can react very quickly, can't we, you know? And that's, a good thing with the team that we've got, isn't it, you know? Many times we've had jobs, isn't it? It needs to be done by this weekend or whatever else that you've got in as an example. And we've done it, haven't we? There's always a way, isn't there? We've never felt to not do that way, have we? So
Well, that is why, you know, sometimes we do get work, because I know, especially on roof cleans, where someone said, you know, I really was going to go with this company, was happy with the price, happy what they look like, but they can't do it for a month or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then we just swoop in and we can do it within days, you know. So overall then it's all positive then. No negatives about, no regrets of taking on this.
Just wanted this office really, is my only regret of aircon.
Yeah, got no chance. So
You'd always be the younger brother, Chris.
You just clocked him before he was having a walk around it already, knew he was having this one.
I don't.
But like, what are you looking at?
It took me a month to realise what he's done.
What's behind that door? What's behind that door?
It's the podcast room. I told you. So where are we at then currently? So I know you just said that you've been looking at things. What is it? You're sort of your pipeline looking good, or
Yeah, and also, I mean, some of the visits obviously lately have been with the clients we've either done some of the recent projects with and building more. I mean, like I quoted this morning for some extra work on some of the sites as add-ons following the work, so it's just building on that. But then last week there's been new clients, commercial factories, warehouses, cladding, gutters, like that one today was new client, but I think had been recommended to us as well.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah, she said
coming
yesterday.
from different
Yeah.
avenues. There's been a few recommendations. I think one of the claddings, one of the office spaces last week was recommendation as well, or she might have also used us previously, something like that. So it's building via that, but then also obviously working on any of the inquiries that are coming in, obviously trying to push on the marketing side of things as well. And
well, that's what we're trying as well, with some different sort of marketing strategies, you know, because it's obviously we've been window cleaners since the beginning, and we're not being window cleaners, but we are trying to chase that bigger work, as where the sort of domestic front, it's still a good massive part of the business, but we're not necessarily looking to really grow that so much as we are trying to just grow the commercial side of the business, because I think that's what's become very apparent since we've been here, is that's where we just need to go, isn't it?
Yeah, so from pretty much day one, haven't we, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the latter part of the year, isn't it? We've always said we just need to get that more bigger, regular stuff, so it's great getting the one-offs, the big projects, which is great, but we just need to try and build that, 3-monthly, 6-monthly cycle stuff, which is bigger stuff. And I'm sure we'll get there,
It's just finding that bigger work, because obviously, we're just geared up for it more, aren't we? And we knew that when we looked at last month, how quickly we were doing stuff, and how much work we were doing. We just knew then that's where we've got to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the amount of money we spend on getting domestic customers and everything else, it's a lot of money, isn't it? And we just need to try and focus more on that and grow and develop that, and that's the
balance, and the right balance, isn't it? Simple as that, So hopefully in time we'll build both, won't we? Which we're still trying to do, but say commercial, the bigger work is definitely the direction we've all agreed that we're trying to go in, aren't we? So
okay. So we're going to dive into some questions, and some of these questions are around like our pricing or problems that we may have or what customers face. I mean, how have you found the market recently in terms of pricing? Have people really been sort of hitting you with the prices?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, most people are going to get other quotes. I think that's just comes as standard, unless, like I say, they're overly sold on us or
just
they don't need to get other quotes. But it's always to be expected they're getting other quotes. I think they're aware of our prices. As I say, we try and put as much on the site and in front of them as possible, and educate them as much as possible beforehand as well. So pricing's not always a shock to them. But then, it tends to always be someone a bit cheaper, but then it's obviously showing the service and what we offer and the reason for the price and where that weighs up. Everyone's obviously always after a cheaper quote.
I saw that with the customer journey video, and obviously when I was looking at it to approve it, and then the guy said that we were, I think his words were, by far the cheapest, and I nearly swallowed my fist, But But from what my understanding was, it wasn't the case. It was like he wanted us to clean his roof. He asked for a cheeky discount, I think was his words, and you obviously gave him a bit of a discount. But I think what that meant was it wasn't that we were then the cheapest. It was just we were in the vicinity, you know, and he obviously got a good deal from the end of it. You know?
Did, but then as always, as long as it stacks up for us, which it did, you know.
It did, yeah.
I got wrapped up a little bit, but
it was just as soon as I heard you were the cheapest or whatever it was.
Doesn't often happen.
He did say though after he said that, he said not just in the quote. He said I mean, as far as the company was concerned, he'd bought into us before that anyway. So I think even if John didn't wiggle on that little discount,
he would have gone for it.
I think he would have probably still gone with us anyway, because he'd seen the videos and that's what had sold him on us. So before asking for the quote, I think he was already. Sold. He was already there, and I think that was just the sort of final selling point was him getting that little cheeky discount. So fair play to you.
Yeah, all part of it.
We know it's the game, and it's not like we say, it's not like you're out there trying to rip people off either. We have our daily targets that we're trying to hit.
Yeah, and that's I mean that's what I say to most of them anyway. Obviously, the prices that we offer are always going to be as competitive as they can be from the get go, because if it avoids you having to go and get other quotes, then obviously I'm going to look to do that. Without rolling over initially and obviously causing us problems by doing things too cheap or whatever, but always know we're up against competition really, so it's very rare that someone's just getting one quote.
Exactly.
So, but as you said there though, because we are very transparent with our price, I mean domestically we are, commercials obviously a whole different ball game. We'd like to be able to share that pricing, but because sites are so different, so big, and the jobs are so varied, you know, where do you start, sort of thing, you know?
The price varies because of that, you can't put anything ballpark, because obviously you guys go on site, don't you?
Yeah,
you know, you might initially go there, things a 2-3 day job, to then speak to someone on site and they want more work doing, blah blah.
Exactly like
4 days, 5 days, you know. Or
exactly like the one we went to today. Like if you was to just quote that based on the building alone,
that's what I was just about to say.
It's pretty straightforward gutter clearance, but then obviously go in there, the access limitations, obviously we've got to check on the safety on the roof and everything like that as well.
If you were just to have priced that per meterage of like per meter of guttering, then you'd have beat yourself, because some of the areas like around the back of this building, you're not going to be able to get a mute around there. Even to build a tower around there, you're going to have to keep stopping, moving the tower along. So it's straight away you're increasing the time of that job by sort of tenfold, if you like, because there's a lot of farting around to be able to access it all.
So most jobs are job specific, aren't they? Most quotes, it's one job to the next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but obviously with the domestic side of things, we try to be as transparent as possible, try to be as upfront as possible. And then, so what about problems then? I know that recently you've done a video where you had to go and restore someone's window frames, powder-coated window frames. Thankfully, we don't tend to get that many problems like that, do we?
No. We had a problem got flagged at a big commercial job that we'd done a little while ago. But it come down to that it was dodgy frames. On this particular property, we used sodium hypochlorite to do a RedClean, and that reacted with a powder coated window frames, leaving like a white sort of staining all the way around them. So but it's the first time I've ever come across that. But after a little bit of research, we was able to go back up there and put it right.
And the customer was happy with it.
Yeah. It's I mean, we made them look better than what they looked before we had visited there originally. You know, we basically brought their window frames back to life. Yeah. And it's another string to our bow as well, because we haven't done that before. And obviously now we've got the capability of doing that, and we've got the chemicals to back it up as well.
So have we actually ever lost a job by being too honest?
Because we're full of shit all the time.
Edit that.
Really builds trust.
Skip keys now.
We just ring them. I don't know. I don't think we have. I mean, have we walked away from jobs? Have we?
No, I mean the
no.
freshest one really is that the phone call I've just had. The roof, where he was talking to me about spraying the roof black. I know this is maybe going off on a tangent, but he was adamant he wanted his roof spray black because he saw it done before or something. But then obviously when I'm talking to him about when we're applying the biocide, it's not spraying black, but it might have appeared to him that it was black when it happened before.
When it was wet, yeah.
Sure it weren't being painted then, his roof?
No, his roof's still the light red, orange original colour. Now it's been cleaned and restored. But I guess basically saying we are not going to spray your roof black, he's probably been a bit like, oh, okay. He's not that interested anyway, is what I'm trying to get at. So
there was one house I went to in I think it was Berkhamsted, and it was a really, really old property, and the lady was adamant that she wanted it steam cleaned. And I mean, the roof was like that. It was just there was tiles missing everywhere. The roof was in a complete state of repair. It was messed up. And I said to the lady that there's no way that I'm going to send guys down here to pressure wash that. And even to manually do a scrape and treat on the property, I think that would have also caused problems as well. And in the end, I'm pretty sure she said that she was going to look at just getting a roof replacement, but she'd come to us for an option. So yeah, by me telling her that we could potentially cause more damage than good, we didn't obviously didn't get that roof clean. But I don't think it would have been a good one for us to do regardless. And that was my opinion to the lady. So I suppose by being honest with her, we lost out on that big sort of stately home, but. It would have been better to lose. Better to lose out on something than cause thousands and thousands of pounds worth of damage.
Leads on to the domestic side, isn't it? I mean, we have not lost because we didn't ever sign them on, but we've not took on probably hundreds of jobs where access is through the house.
Yeah.
You know, like going through to the back alley, you got to drive around the street and have 100 metres of real, park your van on a corner, climb over a garage to get to the back, all those sort of type of things, and we're always honest, aren't we?
We don't go
say we can do that, or we certainly wouldn't risk any of the lads doing anything untoward. And there's been, it must have been hundreds of houses now that we've definitely said thank you, but no thank you.
You get it. Quite often the lads will phone up and say, I'm at a property, they need me to go through 3 rooms to get to the back garden. So I'll always say, well, look, if the customer is willing to take responsibility if anything goes wrong inside, then it's down to them, but we won't go across carpeted floors. It's got to be either like a wooden or a laminate floor or whatever, it's easily cleaned. We start traipsing through carpet and it's just not worth it. Come the winter time, you've got dirty boots, whatever else.
I still think that's risky myself. It's just trying to eliminate any risk like that, because it only takes, you haven't got any waivers signed or any, you haven't taken loads of photos, and
we do
it only
ask
takes
about
one.
Access and that. I also say side gate. Because we don't always visit every property, and then you turn up on that side gate, like I say, is by going around the back street to go through that alley to get to that side gate and stuff, isn't it?
We've got a back gate, it's 5 miles that way.
So, and again, we do speak to the customer, certainly the cleaners when they turn up, they explain, don't they? The reason why we can't do it is because of X, X and X, and I think it's good to be honest, and a lot of customers understand that, don't they? Once explained that we can't do it for this reason.
I actually had it at a house in Stony Stratford. The lady was adamant that the last cleaner had gone through, as in one of our cleaners, and I said, I'm not comfortable going through. No, it's fine. You go through a garage, through a little annex at the back of the garage, and then out into the back garden. Anyway, so I've gone through to do my bit. I'm at the back cleaning the windows, my water stopped. So I've gone back in, and the connection was just resting on the door. All right, my fault really, I should have pulled the connection further, but where it's popped, and I've not noticed it for a good sort of 10, 20 seconds or whatever, it ended up sort of flooding part of her annex room. Of course, that's our fault then, and she phoned up, I think the job got cancelled. She was kicking off that we'd flooded the annex, but she would have also kicked off had I have not gone through there and tried to clean her back windows. So it's just not worth that risk.
I was about to say, that's going back a long time.
It's a long time.
And nowadays we wouldn't. It's just trying to minimise any damages or risk or whatever it is. So yes, all of that stuff should just be stopped, and if we can't do it,
I leave like a back door key under my front mats, things like that. I'm like, no, because if it goes missing, potentially we will be liable. I've had that before, and it's like, sorry, I'm not comfortable doing stuff like that.
Back in the day, I used to get like £10 or £20 left under plant pots and all sorts.
Stuck in the back windows and that. I got accused of nicking a garden gnome or something, and I remember one of our competitors ended up with a customer, and they said that they'd stopped using us because the cleaner nicked a garden gnome out of their garden or something. I'm like, what use have I got for a garden gnome?
Goes home like tonight.
I'm really sitting watching TV with it. I did send I sent him a ransom note, but they never responded. But no, you don't want to be held responsible
You
for
don't.
anything. There was
You've got to
one
minimise
while
all
ago,
of that.
a lady left the gate open and a bike had been taken out of a garden or something. And obviously, the window cleaner took it. So our window cleaner's going to be there with his pole, bike under his arm and that. It's just not, it's not something that our guys would do anyway. And yeah, by going through houses, you're minimalising any risk to their property or.
I think one thing you would, because you could go, okay, well, how do you not know it's your window cleaner? But in all the years that we've done it, and all the experience and all the blokes that we've like employed over time, it's about stitching things together. And if someone's going to take something, they're going to take something somewhere else and somewhere else. They're not just going to do one isolated incident where they're going to take a bike or whatever it is, and then they're never going to be bad ever again. You know, it's like that. Yeah, you know, if they're going to steal, they're going to steal like, multiple
there'd be a
times.
pattern
And
to it, wouldn't there?
yeah,
And it
and
wouldn't
then
take us long to crack that.
yeah, because you'd have a few people ring up about a few different things, and that'll be that. So there was that one time that I pulled you. Well, I didn't pull you off a job. We actually just stopped cleaning it because they'd. There was windows that we couldn't access before. Then they decided to put a loft hatch in or an access hatch.
Yeah.
But you had like a side that was about 14 inches high, and then a 4-story drop the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I know the windows were set back slightly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you had a walkway of about a metre, if that, half a metre maybe.
And they thought that was
And then
adequate.
a wall that high that would be shin height, so you just trip straight over it.
Yeah, yeah, and they thought that would be adequate for you for a safety, a guardrail essentially, you know, and we refused to do it, and said that the only way we would do that is if they put some sort of line in safety, man-safe system.
Yeah.
And we then just got a phone call about a week later saying that we'd lost the job. And then it come up on a competitor's site like the next week, and unfortunately they just got someone else to do it that would just be doing it dangerously. It was we won't do anything like that. And like I say, that's just one that springs to mind where we walked away. I mean, that was many years ago now anyway, but I can't think of any others.
No, apart from like when there's been sort of commercial warehouse roofs that have been asbestos, things like that we've looked at it and been like, no, there's in the famous words of Chris Clark, there's easier money to be earned.
Tumbleweed. But so yeah, I think it's time to wrap this up. But as a sort of last question, like we say, we've had a lot of good works, big works. Last few months have been really good. We've got that pipeline going. I just hope that comes in rather quickly, you know. But the I think what's great about this month as well, it's 23 days this month. I don't know if you know that. So it's I think it's probably the longest one in the year, you know. No bank holidays or anything, because I think you had a 23-day in May with 2 bank holidays. But so how do you think we're going to do this month? I mean, are you positive with everything you've got going on? Or?
Positive, yeah. There's the activity there. Obviously, we've been, without a doubt, spoiled the last few months in that sense with some of the bigger stuff. But there's more to be had, definitely. And we're working through other stuff, big and small, so things will start falling into place.
Yeah, good. And then that's a wrap. No, but yeah.
But I mean, we are very strict with our targets, aren't we? You know, and sometimes we do sit here and think, well, you know, we'd need bigger work and stuff like that. But sort of between everyone, really, we always sort of get to the end of the week, end of the month, and we do okay, don't we? You know, we sort of hit the figures and stuff, mixture of all sorts from the commercial to domestic, and so we just fight to meet our budget, don't we? Wherever that comes from, and generally.
Well, the positives is that I think we're about 20-25% up, and at the end of the 6-month period, which was the end of June, from where we were last year, you know. So I know we have had some really big work that's really helped with that, but it's positive anyway, because in my experience, and I just hope that this is the same, but normally the second part of the year we actually do better than we do in the first part of the year, you know.
No pressure, John.
Yeah.
We've just used up all that work now. It's not,
Done it in 2 months.
Go get it more.
it's the only trouble.
But yeah, so we're still growing, we're still developing. So we know sometimes it can be tough, because obviously it demands a lot from everyone, you know.
We've all got our targets. And doing it for the same reason.
But yeah, all positive stuff. So yeah, so that was our first Inside Filthy. We're going to hopefully try and do this a couple of times a month. and just ask more answer more questions. So if you've actually got any questions you want us to answer, or you want us, the sort of content you want to hear from us, then please let us know in the messages, and we'll do our best to answer that. But yeah, so anyway, all good. So thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you very soon.
Thank you.
Cheers then.
Next time.
Bye.